everyone, it's Monica here. Welcome to Motivation Wednesday. So most of you would know that on Wednesdays we celebrate people's health journey. I normally post a before and after picture with a little bit of a write-up on the person's health journey. Some of them are busy with the Art of Dieting challenge, others have finished the challenge. But the purpose of Motivation Wednesdays are to celebrate people's journey and also provide you with a little bit of inspiration and motivation to get your life in order, to get your health in order. Okay, so today is going to be a very, very special Motivation Wednesday because we're actually going to talk to a very special dude. Charles is here with us. Charles, you did the challenge in November last year, is that correct? Eh?
That's correct, yes. It was a pre-Christmas challenge.
Yeah, I know, and we had quite a lot of people do the challenge in November because people want to kind of lose weight before the December holidays, right?
That is correct, yes. We need to get our bikinis and mankinis on.
Mankinis, my goodness. That's, certain things you can't unsee, right? So tell me a little bit about yourself, Charles, about, about your health journey up to the point that you joined the challenge.
All right, I've been an active person all my life. My work over the years has always required various levels of mental and physical strengths. I was brought up in a blessed and stable environment with good principles and value-based foundation on which I could approach life and its challenges. A long career in the defense gave me a life-valued experience of discipline and how to handle above normal life situations. I studied within the food industry. I was in the supply chain, facilities, and in training environments. As I proceeded along my life path, I ran my own business for several years, but I entered into the private sector later on in the corporate environment. My career in life, from being a soldier, a fighting cook, catering, exec chef, into logistics, training, and facilities management, all demands both mental, physical, and psychological strength. Therefore, training, dieting, eating, and varied knowledge of this always influenced my life path. Being physically active is a life choice I've always believed in. I've been into bodybuilding, strength training, swimming, trail racing, martial arts, and functional fitness. And in all of this, there was something that was still missing. And I hadn't been able to quite find exactly what it was.
Yeah.
And then I came across the Art of Dieting.
Yeah. So why did you sign up for the program? What made you make that decision?
All right. Well, as I said, there was something missing. There was always that I would achieve good success. However, there was that something missing. I didn't get that perfect balance. I had, in my life, seen quite a few dietitians, nutritionists. I even consulted with Dr. Google. And I got some very good info. I got some good results. But the balance shorted. There was this balance that was not there. I love a challenge. And when I received the email from Sensei Brett Clark from Warrior Sports regarding the challenge of the Art of Dieting, I thought, well, here's a challenge. I'm a person that enjoys challenges. And I believe what was successful too, it goes about timing and wanting to improve. You will never achieve anything if you do not want to improve. And timing was also key.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I know a lot of people say the first 4 weeks of the program are not the easiest, but it's all about wanting to it. It's all about finding your why you want to do it. So tell us a little bit about your experience. What was it like doing the Art of Dieting challenge?
Okay, well, as you said, it was finding your why. It's like a mathematical situation. It's finding your why, but you need to find out about X first. And that is exactly what I had in our first meeting that we did. And you put to ground what would we be looking at and going into. And for the first time, I saw perspective in the cycle of nutrition, training, environment, family work, religion, etc. A revelation through this occurred as I learned what primary foods life is actually about. It's got nothing to do with food. And I found there that was the missing balance I was looking at. It was harmony in relationship, not just relationship with your wife, your children, but work relationship, religion, environment, training, balance. And I realized that because I don't have the primary foods in my life sorted, how on earth can I achieve the balance I'm looking for? So often I think we fall onto, I'm going onto a diet. Oh, I need to see a dietitian. I'm putting on weight. And invariably, as I learned too, it wasn't what I was eating that was the problem. It was the primary focuses in life that were wrong. There was stress. There was certain things within a household that was not in balance. And that affected not achieving goals more than trying to eat the right or the wrong kind of food. If one's primary foods, I found, are not in sync, no diet, no training plan, no training twice a day, 2 hours a day is going to make you achieve losing that which you have put on or want to lose. It doesn't work.
Yeah, I've personally, I've seen so many people go through this program, and I see it so often. People eat the right stuff, they are physically active, but they're simply just not reaching their health goals because of those primary foods, right? Those things that cause stress in your life. And that is specifically why we have included a whole workshop in the program on simply addressing those primary foods. It's one of the core principles of the program, is that, it's about more than just the food you eat, right? Yes, it's important to have a healthy diet, but it is about more than just the food we eat. I think for both of us, that played a huge role in our personal health journeys. So before we get to your takeaways from the program, what type of results did you get?
I just want to say, before I eat my results, one of the things I realized was that not all healthy food is equally healthy. Now, that might sound crazy because, you think that eating various type of foods and what have you is beneficial. For example, Provitas, but they must be good for you. But eating, mangoes, not that mangoes are bad, must be good for you. But what I realized was, and for the first time, even though I had studied nutrition and I had been a chef for in excess of 20 years, there was one core thing that didn't stand out and we were never taught about. And that has only come through research and obviously over time, and that is inflammatory foods. Yeah. Now, I did the keto eating style for quite a long time. It did work for me, sort of, and also discovered that in a very active physical lifestyle, keto is not always going to work for you. It is not bad. It has its place, but it's always not necessarily going to work for you. But there I found and I realized the importance of balance on inflammatory foods. So 2 things that I found I cut out had a life-changing experience for me. The first was dairy. I love dairy. I love cheese. I love yogurt. And that's all healthy things, as we are taught, until the day you cut it out. And for 4 weeks, I didn't touch any dairy. And the first result I had within about 5 days was my sinuses cleared up. I couldn't believe the difference on sinus. Now, I'd heard about it. Dr. Google told me about it. But, that's one of the things I know better until I cut it out. And then I realized the value of cutting out on dairy. And do I need it? Do I now go back to it? Not necessarily, but a tzatziki with some chips every now and again is nice. It's not a problem. I don't do it all the time anymore. What I also learned about on the inflammatory foods was, for example, pulses and wheats. But that's healthy. Bulgur wheat is healthy for you. Yes, but it's inflammatory. A lot of studies have been done, more studies. We're living in a wonderful technological age. And if there's one thing I do take from Google, and that is go and read up on research, valued research that gives you information. That's where I started reading and started discovering it's not the fads out there. It's not what people say. It's research that counts. So that is what led me into, I think, being able to achieve the results and to be able to move forward. So when I started the challenge, I weighed in at 107.2 kilos. Body fat was on 27.1 and my BMI was on 33. Now, I know a lot of people say, but BMI is one thing. It's still a measure used globally. So it is a factor that still needs to be looked at. When I ended the challenge 6 weeks later, I weighed in at 101.9. My body fat had dropped from 27.1 to 23.9. My BMI had come from 33 to 30.8. But that's not where the challenge ended, because I had realized in the 6-week process that we had gone through, such value changes that take place. I had hit that missing balance of normality I was looking for. Because firstly, my primary focus, my primary foods were being sorted out, which made the secondary foods, such as that which you put into your mouth, so much easier to work with. I also discovered that inflammatory foods actually do cause inflammation. Because when I started add backs, which we did in our process as well, I discovered within 24 hours, having that full cream Greek yogurt, which was yummy, I started with sinusitis within 24 hours. Do I need it? No. Are there alternatives? Plenty. And that was the good thing. It makes you look through different windows at life out there. There is so much good that one overlooks. And the very important thing is that I discovered it's much cheaper to eat in different ways. And you've got to experiment and try. Not all that works for me is going to work for somebody else. And I think that is what came across very strongly in the art of undieting. We're so busy looking at a process. We're so busy looking at so many calories of this and so many kilojoules of that. And what this showed me was I can be 80% full per meal. Now, that might sound crazy, but that was fantastic, because in every other nutritional plan I'd followed, I was always hungry. And now I sit with, gee, but haven't I eaten too much now? But yet I'm full. And when I do weigh in and what have you, the results are showing. The weight is down. And I must say, one of the things I've realized is when I started seeing the results, I started realizing that what the scale says to me is not the most important. I now can work at challenges such as increasing muscle mass, reducing body fat percentage. And that was also very important, and that I want to bring across. It's not what the scale tells you. You need to take it a step further if you're weighing yourself. You're made up of water, you're made up of muscle, you're made up of fat. And those aspects need to be measured accordingly for you to see your success. And that is something I did. We were privileged by having that sort of facility within Warrior Sports. And if you join Warrior Sports, you'll have it as well. So that makes it a lot more meaningful as well. A scale tells you a lot of maths. But proper analytics of the body as you go through transformation and change reveals a lot more to you. And that also brings that balance.
Yeah, and it's all about how you feel, right? Do you feel healthy? Do you feel fit? Do you get rid of all the inflammation? Do you get rid of the sinuses? Do you have lots of energy? It's a lot more about how you feel than how much you weigh.
Yes, it does. And what I found doing it in a group form as which we did, instead of a one-on-one as one would normally do with a dietitian, you had group support. You started touching base with people that had similar situations that you had. And you could meet and talk directly to those people. What was your solution? What did you do? And it was often simple little things. And I think the big thing is, which I learned, was cut something out for time. You can always return to it, but cut it out and see what the difference is. I've never had that challenge before. It was always, okay, we're going to stop this and we're not going to have sugar anymore. It doesn't mean I don't have sugar anymore. I have different types of sugar, like, for example, maple syrup that I've brought in. Where in the past it was stevia and it was only stevia. Now I don't need that. And when you start adding other things to food and you start tasting food for what it is, you start realizing that, spices and things don't always need to be added.
Yeah, no, it's so true. Well, Charles, your journey was certainly an inspiration to a lot of people. I think your results were great and you're looking fantastic. And I can see that, from the last time that I saw you, that you're working on it and you're continuing to make progress. And, like I always say, it's a journey of becoming the best healthy version of yourself. And that's what life is all about. So, Charles, thank you so much for being with us. Thank you so much for sharing your story. And thank you so much for being an inspiration.
It's my pleasure. I'd just like to finish off by saying that timing, wanting to do it, and rest is important, because that was the success I achieved through this whole process. Thank you very much.